Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. Hello, everyone. You are welcome to another season of Employment Wednesdays. We are back again with a bang. I missed you guys so much. Today I'm a bit nervous because I haven't been doing this for a very long time, but I really missed you guys, and I hope the wait wasn't too long. So today I'm seated with the friend of the show. You guys already know her if you're in my life like that.
Oh my
You already
word.
know. You can introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Nontutuzelo Madumo, aka Z. If you follow Yvonne on socials, I'm Yvonne's friend. Friend. I don't know if I should tell them more.
What do you do? She's an attorney.
I'm an attorney by profession. I currently work as a senior legal advisor for one of the big insurance companies in the country.
Love that. I know she's going to be modest about this, but she's currently doing her MBA. I see mangly
Oh
man.
yeah, I am like in my final year of my MBA. So hopefully by the end of the year, I would have been done with that.
How greedy are you? Like,
You have to be
casually.
greedy. You have to. Well, now you're greedy, Pela. That's why we're sitting here today, because you're greedy, and we here to talk about your greed. So, I mean, I'm just trying to keep up with my friend group. So
Yeah, the circle is doing too much, eh? So before we go into our conversation, so today, guys, is going to be very relaxed. I want to ease you guys into the season. I don't want to start off serious. So today is just going to be very relaxed, and we're just going to share anything and everything, a bit personal, a bit career related, but just to ease you into the new season and what you can also expect into the season, right? So before we go into it, how are you?
I am well, friend. I am tired already. I don't know what's going on, but I'm tired already. I had an interesting conversation with the guy who is shooting this, and I feel like after this, I might have to go home and write new goals for my career.
Really?
And for my life. Yeah.
Okay.
Wena, how are you doing? How's everything?
I'm tired, right? And I think it's crazy because I'm very tired physically, but I'm also at a very content, and I think I'm the best version I've ever been since I've
that's
been
true.
born. Like,
That's true.
I'm
That's
really so happy as a person going through things. Like, I mean, adulting will hold you by the throat, but I'm happy to navigate the way life is. The only thing I can really complain about is being physically tired, but
Yeah.
I'll be fine soon.
can
I'll
fix
get
that.
rest. Yeah.
So like this is season 3, right?
Yeah,
How do you
yes.
feel about that? I can't believe. Wait, even when did you start?
Last year.
And
So,
then so you do one season per
2 seasons per year.
okay.
Yes, so
And are we celebrating?
yes, we have to celebrate, guys. Today we're like 1 year old. We're 1 year old. Like, what better
I
way?
wish we were opening something else. God dang it, I won't complain.
What better way
I don't want
to
to disturb
celebrate?
your thingy.
What if Kep is
Your
gonna
wellness
send us
journey.
something?
Cheers, friends.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Happy 1 year to us. And happy 1 year to you guys, everybody that has been loyal and watching and sharing. Truly appreciate you guys. But yeah,
So I was asking, how do you feel about, your podcast, your growth, everything you've done? When you look back and you sort of like reflect on where you are now, is everything, as you had imagined it would be?
yo, guys, first of all, I want to just say, put it out there. I know I always encourage people, but podcasting is hard, friend. It's very hard,
I
especially
mean, I've been
if
doing this for 2 minutes, but I'm already struggling.
it's so hard, and it's so hard, especially if you're sharing valuable information, right? Because I think a lot of the people gravitate towards funny stuff. You
Yeah.
know, they gravitate towards lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
But the serious things, when we're saying read books, think about your career, you have to convince people. So it's very hard to podcast, and also considering that I have a full-time job, I'm busy training for High Rocks, so it can be like time consuming as well. And I think the hardest part is convincing people that the information that you're sharing is valuable, right?
That's true.
And I think at some point, actually, I did want to be like, maybe I should take like a 6 months break and not shoot currently, because I thought to myself, I'm putting in so much money. It's also money being here. It's not like I'm doing it for free.
Talk about that.
Yes. So there's that, right? But overall, positively speaking, I really like the work that Employment Wednesdays has done. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I got a DM from someone who said, hey, please don't stop. This is so beautiful. It's very inspiring. I watched such an episode and it changed how I see things. I've had somebody say to me they were brave enough to go study medicine in a different country because they've been listening to stories on the podcast, or also just looking at my journey as well. So some of these stories are the reason why I go on. It's almost as if every time I want to quit or take a break, God would send someone to remind me the reason or the core purpose of this particular platform. So it is positive. I love hearing your guys' feedback. Shame, keep sending me DMs, and you guys know that I respond to DMs. It's been quite positive. And just knowing, man, that you are the reason somebody actually sees themselves. Because sometimes it's not that we're incapable. It's usually because we don't feel seen or encouraged.
Yeah. Well, I am inspired by you, obviously. I think I tell you this all the time. Don't laugh. Yeah, I can't be serious. Like, I always tell you, I admire how fearless you are. Like, when you put your mind, into something, you actually, work really hard to get it. And what I want to ask, I remember Employment Wednesday started on Instagram, right? You used to do Instagram lives and you'd call people. You never called me. Not that saying you're professional. You want me to be here, but you never called me.
I was saving best for
but
last.
Anyway, it started there. How did you then decide that you're gonna move into, you're gonna move it from that platform into, the Red app and obviously on Spotify and all the other platforms? And Emoji, it's difficult because people, sort of like gravitate towards lighter content, things that maybe make them happy, things that are pleasing aesthetically, I don't know. But then how did you trust that, it was going to grow? Did you have a particular strategy in terms of like how you were going to try and, grab people's attention? How did you trust that it was going to work out?
Okay.
Did you know, or were you just...
So I think the first thing, what makes me trust, and I think that's why I'd always say to people, your environment is very important, right? Who you surround yourselves with is very important. So I believe it's going to work out when I have conversations with you guys, because like right now you just said that you see me as a fearless person. So hearing stuff like that to me makes me feel like, okay, this is going to work. And if I'm being honest, half the time I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Every time I put an episode out, I just pray, I'm like, God, let it reach the people that it needs to reach and let it make a difference. Because again, I feel like, and I could be wrong or right? You can try the metrics with the algorithm and stuff. But the thing is, it's almost as if there's a luck or charm with being viral. Like you can post something very lousy and it goes viral.
When it's your day, it's your day.
Yes, that's how I feel. I feel like when it's your day, it's your day, but you just have to stay diligent,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to quote her.
Coach man, me?
No, not you.
Oh, I was like, they need to zoom into my face.
But there's something
quote, can I guess you're going to quote?
Yes.
Bumi.
Yes. That's why we need to charge because ninjalo nina, right? But there's something that Bumi did say that in terms of podcasting, she said the first 5 years of our love journey, she had to put in her money. She had to put in her time. She was not being sponsored. She was not making money out of it. And she did say that it takes a lot of discipline and diligence. So I think for me, that was also freeing to say, sometimes it is frustrating because, I mean, you're going to spend maybe in a month, you spend over 7K, and then you only make 1.5. You're running on a loss, you know, but it only takes you being disciplined. And also there's this knowing. You know, I think for me, like for instance, our other friends would always say to me, I should go into radio. I'm supposed to be a radio personality. I feel like also for me, this serves as purpose because I would have loved to be in radio. Maybe it's still going to happen. Who knows, right? But I think also that to be able to speak, to be able to share knowledge, to be able to teach, it actually keeps my fire alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that. So manje mauthi like trending, having an episode that actually goes viral that people enjoy, can, also be dependent on luck. Have you ever shot a video that you thought was not going to do well, but it did? And I don't know if you feel comfortable mentioning names. And also, have you shot a video that you thought, this one, it's gonna, like, the conversations were amazing, the guest was amazing, that danger, everything was like, splendid, but then it just didn't perform well. And when it does not perform well, how do you pick yourself up? How then do you say, okay, here's another week, I gotta go do this again and hope that this time,
Okay.
I get lucky?
So first, I'll start with the worst, right? You said one where I thought
where you felt it didn't go that well for whatever reason, but then somehow people received it well, and maybe you've had people DM you about that particular episode. Yeah, I mean, maybe let me just break it, the question up into two. Yeah.
Yes, let's start with that, right? So it's so funny. It has to be my episode with Mpumi, right?
You thought it didn't go well?
Yes, because
What?
you and I had this conversation briefly. Remember when I said to you, I got so nervous also because I feel like I study her methodologies. So it's hard to ask questions of a person that you almost already have so much intel.
I just need to put it out there that I'm also struggling right now because I was like, I don't know what to ask you.
Yes, I can understand.
I know, we spoke about this yesterday, so yeah.
Yes. So in as much as I knew that it was going to do well, right? But I didn't think it's going to be one of my best episodes because of how, firstly, I was nervous because I don't get familiar, right? And as much as she's somebody that I'm used to right now and all of that, but I don't get familiar. So if I see you, like right now when I'm looking at you, I know it's like it's vibes, but you are one of the people that inspire me. So I take this very serious. It's not like, chummy, ha ha ha. So it made me really nervous. I never thought it was going to do as great. Or if it was going to do as great, I thought people might notice certain things I know. You know when you know that, well, you know them because you're my friend.
Yeah,
so you know them when you're like, there you fumbled.
I was like, yeah, no. I think
why
I
are
did
we
say
asking
something.
it like that?
Yeah, I did. I also did comment on that. But then maybe other people didn't notice.
Yes,
think,
they wouldn't notice.
They wouldn't notice.
Because, I think what's the thing, right? And that's the thing about being in a greedy cycle or overachievers. When we set the standards, remember how we even had this chat the other time when we were talking about how we set a standard so high for people that when you tell the next person that you're disappointed about a small thing, people think, you're being dramatic. But because for us, the standard is very high.
Yeah.
So what you would say to me, friend, that's a 2. Somebody can look at it and be like, that's a solid 9.
Yeah. People can say, oh my gosh, she did so well. And then your friend is like, I don't know. I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
So what about
the best?
Yeah, what was I forgot my own question.
No, the second question you had said, you said the one that I thought was not going to go well, ne?
Yeah.
And then actually went well.
No, the one that you thought was going to go well. Because with Mpumi's episode, you said you thought it wasn't going to go well because you know how you were. Like maybe your responses to questions or whatever, you felt like it didn't go as well, but then it did.
Yes.
It turned out to be a success.
Yeah.
But then now I think I'm trying like tell us about an episode that you felt really went well. You were like, this person has an amazing story, and I don't know, maybe it could be your first, like just any episode that you felt or you thought was gonna, hit the mark for you and probably take you to that next level, and it didn't. And how then did you have the courage, the motivation to get up again and keep trying?
I actually have 2 guys. If you've never watched these episodes, I need you guys to do it because I still feel like those were possibly my best. Huh?
So gropile.
Ningropile. Like Ningropile, guys, you have to go there, tip, subscribe, share. So one of my best, even right now, I'm yet to do an episode where I feel like it's beyond that. It was with Uzolile Shude. And I say I enjoyed that episode, even how it went and everything, and even how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Because so the narrative, if you check, right, most people I've interviewed is women, right? It's always women holding it down. It's always women making sacrifices. It's always women quitting their studies. But with Uzolile, right, he's a teenage dad, right? He had to stop his matric so that he could look after his child, which is something that is usually done by women, right? And so like it really like triggered a certain light. And then after he took a break, he had to go work at Spur. It's usually women who do that. It's never men who do that. And then after going to work at Spur, he had to go back and repeat matric. And after repeating matric, he passed. Then he went to study law. He ended up working as a clerk at the Concord. And so, and these are the things that are normally done by women.
Yeah,
you know, because it's, with men, their lives continue after what you call a woman is pregnant. It's like you make a plan.
Yeah.
But to hear him actually say, you know what, I understood that I had to step up, and I stepped up, and not just step up, but I also understood that I had a dream. I had to go back to school. And imagine he was like a top student, and he had to drop out. And also after being a top student, he goes back to school and they tell him that, Lalela, we know that you're a top student and you want to be in matric. You have to go back in grade 11. And he was head boy of the school. So you can imagine the humiliation where it's like you have to go back and be led by people who you used to lead or people that used to look up to you.
Oh, my word. I think I'm going to watch that episode.
Yes, I need you to watch that episode. Like, it's the tea. Love it. And then another episode that I really thought was going to do well, and I think you guys really, really need to watch it. It was one with Yolanda. Yes, one with Yolanda and one with Bongani. There is a couple, man. Maybe I have 5 where I felt like you guys didn't do justice. And there's tea. And I think that's why I ended up resorting to, during December, trying to cut them into highlights. Because, you know, sometimes there's information, if I feel like if a person can get this, they could just change their whole life or their whole thought process. Because imagine you are having a conversation with one of the guys from production, and you're saying when you get back home, you want to change your goals, you want to evaluate yourself. So sometimes it takes like 2 minutes for your whole life and perspective to be changed. So yeah. And how I come back from it, really, you know how I am, right? I talk. So those 30 minutes calls, 2-hour calls where you cut me off like, bro, I'm someone's wife. I have to go.
So you talk about it and you allow yourself to, you know.
Yeah, and I'm honest with myself. Like, I think one of the things that people sometimes they think maybe I'm hard on myself or I'm hard on them. I'm honest. If I look at an episode and I feel like you were playing games here, you were just maneuvering, I'm honest with it, and I take my L and be like, okay, I could have done better. I still have many more years of podcasting. I will do better. And I've been told by experts that the more you do it, the more you get better.
On that note, do you compare yourself? Like, I mean, I'm assuming even with influencers, like when they post things, like if you have the same campaign, right? And now let's say like we both have the Cappy campaign, and I post a reel and it gets like, I don't know, 500,000 likes, and yours gets like 38. Do you look at those things? Do you sometimes look at the stats and you go,
So I don't deliberately do it. So how I do it, it's like unplanned, right? Let's say I'm scrolling on Instagram, ne? And then I see an interesting thing, maybe by an influencer. Then I listen. Then I'm like, oh, this is something I've said before. Or this is, remember how I told you about that other popular guy who builds a lot, who's a speaker? Where I say to you, these are things that you've even told me about. It's just unfortunate you don't have a big platform.
I forgot.
I'll tell you off camera because I don't want to get a lawsuit. But so say I'm scrolling on social media and then I see something of interest, then I listen. Then if it's something that I've said before, then I start checking, Corey, what are their metrics?
Did
I'm
I-
like, I'm
Oh.
like, but I said this on YouTube. Why did I only get 500 views? Why is this person getting 2 million views? Or sometimes if we're within the same industry, I know it can be unhealthy. That's what I'm saying. I don't deliberately do it. I do it like once in a while. If we talk about similar things, I listen to your stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
like
No,
it's
I
bare
get that.
minimum.
I get
Or there's
that.
certain people that are doing well. And I think I was even telling someone, and you and our other friend group, we've actually discussed this, where you were telling me about that whole thing, where you're talking about what courses you want your child to do. Then we were saying,
yeah.
we were saying no creativity, they can go into it. And then you had that analogy of saying, but this is the thing, some of these success stories are 1 out of 99, right? So I think I've also just learned to say some people have a grace for certain things.
Yeah.
So they don't have to
And
excel.
sometimes it's your time.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Sometimes it's your season to like grow.
True.
It happens even with people that like people in sports. For example, you can have one player that's dominating the football game for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But then you have more people, younger people, creative people who then do new things
Yeah.
that allow them to dominate when their season comes. And I think that's just, sometimes how it works.
Yeah.
I think you're doing amazing. And the fact that just the quality, of the episode, I know how much you really, how you, when you started with the podcast, I remember your anxiety, when every time you think about, getting guests, like asking people to come to your podcast. And then when you actually did start and when you did have conversations with them, it was easy for you to get them to agree, and it doesn't, success, I don't think it has to, we have an idea of what it's supposed to look like, but sometimes it's just having, people that are around you, people that you don't know, agree to sort of like help you plant to these seeds. And you're doing well, but you're doing well. So I know that
Thank
you're not going to
you.
compare yourself. It's natural, but I like the fact that it doesn't affect you.
No, because, and I think I'd say this over and over again, just have the right environment or the right people around you. Because I know that if I compare myself maybe internally, then I don't tell you. Then we have a conversation about something. Then you unconsciously affirm me like, you're a beast at this. You're goated.
Yeah.
You're so good. Then I'm like, which means that whole comparison doesn't matter anymore because there are people that actually are honest. And I think that's what I love as well. I have really honest friends who, my friends don't lie. Like they'll literally be like, you're messing around. The same hype I get when I'm doing great is the same hype I get when I'm slacking.
Yeah,
So
can-
that
yeah.
actually carries me because I know that if I'm doing something wrong or something I could improve, I can. It's so funny. I was doing, so as I was doing highlights during the months of December, during the first of seasons, right? Remember when you watched the first episode, you say to me, do you want me to give you good news or bad news first, right? And then you say, you did so great. I love the confidence. I love this. And then you're like, but friend, you need to stop talking over people, right? And then, and then I watched the episodes and I realized I've actually improved.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah,
intentional
you did.
thing. And knowing that people that critique me, I, like, not to say they qualified like in the game, but I feel like they do it from a genuine space. That's why somebody asked me, how do you do with social media hate? I'm like, I don't care for those things because the people that are meant to critique me have done their work and we have dealt with the issues.
Like, do you always like receive that with grace? Like when your friends say stuff, right? Which obviously is meant to just help, make you better. The same way you can also, criticize me about
Sure.
something that I do to help me improve. Do you have days where you're like,
Well,
do you have days where you disagree?
I
Right?
think for me it depends, ne? It depends on who's saying it and how close we are. Because
Okay.
I think how I always receive these criticisms, the reason why I don't appreciate criticism maybe from the public and I don't engage. Like you comment anything negative on my page, I keep quiet, I don't respond, I leave you alone because we don't know each other like that. So I know that when I tell you my deepest dreams, my deepest desires, you know my potential. Right?
Yeah.
You see the things that I can't see sometimes. So I know that you will not wake up and pick up the phone and be like, yes, yesterday, you did this. I know that if you were to call me out on anything, it's usually from a place of love. The only time where I would be offended is if I'm having a bad day. But if it's a good day where we're having those chats of ours, like ketchup calls, it's never really
and
that
then I
deep.
say
I note
something.
it down. I make a mental note. She said I speak over people. Do I agree? Before I catch offense, I go and
Then
watch.
you go and watch. Yeah.
Yes,
see
and
if
then
it's
I'm
got a
like,
point.
oh, you were right.
Yeah.
That's why you see every time there we have a conversation where maybe you call me out, right? When it happens, I come back to you later and I'm like, now I get how you felt
Yeah.
when you're calling me out on this. I get it.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
You do come back and you're like, sometimes I wish it happened immediately, but yeah, I'll take whatever you give me. I wanted to ask, what happened to you in vlogging?
So I'm slowly going to come back into vlogging, but for my fitness channel. I started a new channel. Please follow it. It's like wellness, fitness related.
I saw it yesterday and I was like, hi, Bo.
And
Hi. What's happening here?
so that's where I'm going to vlog occasionally. But the main reason why I stopped vlogging, right? I realized that I live a wholesome life, ne? A very wholesome life. But constantly trying to capture it does take away from me being in it. So it's like I almost always leave through the lenses. I end up always having to watch the memories, right? And again, besides that, I think as we grow, because when you're younger, I didn't understand some of the concerns people would have, right? Or if they're comfortable or not. But now I get it. Like, it's like, if I'm going to vlog with you, are you in the mood to vlog? Are you in the best posture? Are you okay with it? Are you happy being put out there in that season? So I feel like for me, it's a lot of the work and it's a lot of boundary crossing. And I'm just in a season where I'm learning to respect people's boundaries because the whole thing of vlogging, it has a lot to do with crossing people's boundaries. Because I also know how I feel sometimes when I'm seeing a person capturing a video and I don't know them and they're within the same space. The first thing I'm thinking, I'm like, why are you taking a video of me?
Yeah, you better block my face.
Yes, you see. So I've just said, you know what, maybe let's take it easy. But on the new channel, I am going to vlog like just my fitness journey, my wellness journey, but it also won't be as frequent. And I've realized that for me, I love this. I do well. Like, let's sit and talk. Let's talk about current affairs. Let's talk about books or whatever. The whole vlogging thing, man. And yeah, you will spend 7 hours trying to edit a vlog and get 4 views and YouTube pays you 5 cents.
Yeah.
And there's a different influencer who's doing bare minimum, getting paid more. So I think, yeah.
Do you feel like not vlogging though has sort of like did it have an impact on your growth on YouTube? Do you feel like maybe were you growing more when you were vlogging, or do you feel like there's not much of a difference in terms of how many people frequent your channel, how many subscribers you get per day, per month? Like, do you look at that?
Yeah.
Or does it not really matter to you? Okay, 2-3 years ago when I used to vlog and people used to see me, do certain things or in a certain light, they used to watch more and subscribe more. And now, or is it the opposite? Maybe people.
I think it's actually the opposite. It's so funny. I think people respect me more when I'm being serious. I don't even know how to put it, but I think when I'm being a clown, I land. It doesn't land. So I think people respect the setup more.
You said I should ask you fun questions. But then now it's tough for me to do that because I'm like, I don't know what you want to talk about. I don't know what you want to reveal.
So yeah, so usually when I'd be vlogging, right, I would get the views, but I think because it wasn't niched, it wasn't as consistent, so I didn't get as much views and subscribers. So Employment Wednesdays, being consistent, being a podcast, being every Wednesday, and being the quality that it is, it actually brought more subscribers. It brought a bit of more money compared to back then. Yeah, so it became better. Because I think sometimes we want to do certain things. It's like, I think even, unfortunately, I have to refer to her again. I think even Bumi spoke about it the other time where she's like, I had to be honest with myself. I'm not a vlogger. I prefer conversation. Same, I'm that person. And you've seen, man, even in my day-to-day life, like as opposed to going to groove or dancing, I want to do dinner. Because I want to talk, so that works a bit better for me. So, yeah, the vlogging thing didn't impact me negatively. It just becomes awkward because everybody does ask me, like, how? I was just look shoot. Because also one thing about me, I'll ask, like, can I vlog?
Personally, if I'm being honest, there's some videos of me there on your YouTube that I can't even get through them because I'm like, Yvonne, I was clearly tipsy. Like, why? Why? Yo, You know, I used to enjoy watching them back. Some moments where a lot of the moments were actually beautiful. You know, but sometimes you're like, hey, bro,
Why was
I don't want to see.
like
I don't want to see myself live. Like, I don't want. Is this how mang me le mang clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward for me. But then I'm awkward about everything, so it doesn't really matter.
So yeah, it's that. But I'm gonna slowly go back into it. And besides that, guys, vloggers, I'll give them a 10 out of 10. That different vlogging is hard. It takes a lot of editing, music, background. Like, it's too much admin. You see this here? I've paid my money. I get my stuff. I upload the stuff and I move on. But with vlogging, I need to check
it does
and
seem like
see
a lot of
and
work.
remove certain things, sound and all of that. So yeah, it's a bit too much.
Yeah. So do you have like so you've been doing this for 3 seasons, right? And you are happy with how things have been going, with the growth. It's amazing. We all have to see it. Do you see yourself evolving? You know, like, do you see it changing? You know, and maybe like going a different direction. Maybe not yet. Maybe like, I don't know. I'm just trying to ask if, you know, because when I listened to your interview with Mbumi, she spoke about because she's had a lot of things on her channel, right? A lot of different things, you know, different ways of sharing content with us, and sometimes Oti, she would do something, and then she's able to realize when, you know,
it doesn't work.
When it doesn't work anymore, you know, when it has run its course.
Yes.
Do you see that happening with Employment Wednesday? Do you see yourself getting to a point where one day, like, Yazini, I've interviewed each and every profession, Sengsele, Sengsele or president, or people that you can't, you know, have access, but do you see yourself getting to a point where you're like, you know what, I think I've served my my purpose when it comes to Employment Wednesday. I'm still gonna, you know, like keep the same theme, but I'm gonna do it differently, or do you see, do you see yourself walking away from this completely and doing something that you never?
No, I would not walk away from it, because I think if there's anything I'm so convinced and so sure of is one of my biggest callings is this.
Yeah.
You know, and I know this because God is just taking his time with me. Because like I'm saying, like, for instance, right, you did say that success is not on the numbers and on what you get on return. It's just also just what you put out there and whether you achieve that goal. If you're saying you're going to put out something on Wednesday, you do it, that's a success. But when I think about the process that I go through for this, sometimes you get ghosted by guests, you know, sometimes you run late and there's this, there's that. So I feel like because it's a God thing, the only time I would walk away from it is if God was to say so. But I think I would definitely take it is going to go to a different direction. If ever I do get to a point where I hit the ceiling, of which I don't think it's anytime soon. Maybe, like, because the people that I look up to, man, they've been doing podcasts like your Jay Sherry's, your Stephen Bartlett. Like there's South Africa, there's Africa is big, there's Europe. So I think in expanding, I would obviously want to move out of South Africa, move out of Africa, move into Europe, North America, and all of that. And also, if I do happen to get to a point where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm enough with careers, like in terms of interviewing actual professions, I can find something that is in alignment. Because like you say, like, for instance, typical example, wisdom and wellness, right? It is the podcast domain, right? Umpomi is the actual brand, but within that, there's different things. So I could say, okay, guys, we're taking a break with careers. Let's go into book clubs. We're taking a break with book clubs. Let's go into weight loss. You know, we're taking a break with weight loss. Let's go into. So my biggest thing is making sure that Employment Wednesdays is a sustainable brand. But besides Employment Wednesdays, Yvonne Princess Shabangu is a sustainable brand. You know, I'm not just in this position whereby if she's not doing career stuff, then there's nothing else to do.
Wait, the more you say it, Yabo, like, my mind is like, how did you come up with the name? Why Employment Wednesday?
So it was a Wednesday. Remember when I was doing it? When I was doing it,
It was a Wednesday. Yo,
yes, it was a Wednesday, guys. It was a Wednesday
what
afternoon.
happened on this?
It was a Wednesday afternoon. I had my first video with a person
So,
on Instagram.
On,
ne?
that was it planned for a Wednesday, or did you just go live and then?
Yes. So I say to a person, hey, I would like to do this. Can we do an interview on Instagram on a Wednesday, right? Then I
Wait,
noticed
on a Wednesday,
after.
child.
Then I noticed after. I'm like, Wednesday. And then I'm like, what do we talk about? So I'm like, we talk about employment related matters, because when it's all said and done, all of these professions, doctor, nurses, whatever, it's all under employment. So I wanted to find a thing that just encompasses, like, that's very broad and not limiting. Because I knew that if I say employment, you're employed in the medical industry, you're employed in the law industry. It makes it broad. Though sometimes I worry about the Wednesday.
Why?
Because what if I want to change to a different date?
Like Employment Monday.
No. Like, I'm just saying, I remember the Wednesday part of it also aligns with the fact that it drops on Wednesdays. So I always wonder, would it make sense to carry the name on a dropping on a
feel like
different day?
you can market everything and like anything and everything, you know?
Yeah.
There are people who sell things with names that don't make sense. Kodwa, when you actually ask questions, you learn they had
You
to
understand.
change, and they couldn't like lose the brand because the brand itself has so much power.
Yeah.
So I think I think Employment Wednesday works. It's just it's like
It's random. It sounds
very
random.
random.
It was a
Wednesday.
Wednesday afternoon.
yeah, no.
So yeah, there's that. And then I'm saying, time does fly, hey?
Oh my god. I didn't think I'm allowed to scream.
So I do want to ask something, right? So many people have started their jobs, right? A lot of graduates have started their
Wait, are you
jobs.
asking me?
Yes, like we're just
God.
going to talk about it. It's
Okay.
nothing intense. So I know that a lot of graduates have started new jobs from the 6th of January, right? They're going into new industries, whether it's law, whether it's medicine, whatever industry that you're going into. What do you wish, going back to the first day you started articles, what pep talk do you wish someone had actually set you down and said, this is what's up?
Yo, my god. Yazin, I feel like I should be a guest next time, eh?
You have tea?
No, like sometimes, I'm grateful for where I am right now because, I remember Nontutuzelo and I used to speak about how lost, we got a lot. Like when you start working, obviously you imagine, oh my God, this is where I'm going to work. It's a big, law firm, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be amazing. I think I wish I had somebody, to remind me that I am the magic, right? Like,
Yeah, you are the engine.
I didn't hitchhike my way into that
Yes.
position or that employment, that at that particular firm. I worked for it, I earned it, and I deserve to be there. And remind me every day that I need to own that. I think I was very, looking back, but I think I was very anxious. I was worried about a lot of things, how well I was going to perform,
Sure.
whether I was gonna, understand the work, like so many things that shouldn't have occupied my mind did. So I think I would have loved to have somebody to remind me, of that, to remind me of the fact that I can do it. I earned it, I deserve it, and so I think that would be my advice to somebody who is starting a new job right now. The fact, like, you need to wake up every day knowing that, you are
You've
the shit.
earned it.
Like, you are that person. You've earned it. You are good at that. They are lucky to have you just as much as you're lucky to work at that particular place. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, my biggest one is knowing that mistakes are not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because I do think that as juniors or as young professionals, when we make the mistake, it's almost as if we want to kill ourselves.
Yeah.
We hide, we're afraid. So I feel like don't hide your mistakes. And I'm not saying just go around making lousy mistakes, right? But I'm just saying that have an understanding that you're not going to be perfect. And unfortunately or fortunately, university does not prepare you for the workplace like
Yeah.
that. So you are going to meet challenges. You're going to meet different people. So knowing that make mistakes and talk to your colleagues. I'm not saying befriend your colleagues, but talk to them. Have a network within the workplace. Have people that are able to vouch for you. Guys, speak in meetings. And I know that TikTok is telling you nothing for my side works. That stuff doesn't work.
It does
because
not.
you negotiate your
It does
salary,
not.
you negotiate your promotion. By the way, senior legal advisors in the house.
I thought you were seeing someone. I'm like, Aibo, do you have a surprise guest?
Yes,
That's
you must always speak for yourself. When you want to improve yourself, speak for yourself, and no one will come to you and say your salary is little or your role is now boring. If you feel like your role has become redundant, speak to your superiors.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think also one thing that I've learned is that because I struggle with I used to. Now I'm anjao. But back then I used to struggle with, saying things in meetings. And sometimes what people don't realize is that it's not just about feeling like you don't have something to say, right? I don't know. I don't like looking stupid. You know that about me.
Yes.
I if I'm gonna do something, I better be 99.999% sure that it's good, that it's needed, that it's gonna succeed, which is not always good. I have realized looking back that quality is more important than quantity. There are people who are very popular at work, guys, and when you look back, that thing doesn't really work for them. It doesn't really benefit them. You are known, but then when it's time for you to leave, or when it's time for them to get rid of you, they get rid of you. But for me, I don't think I spoke to as many people as I would have liked to. But the people that I did have a relationship with, I invested my all into those relationships. And like when I tell you how many times of people have come through for me,
It works.
It shocks me to this day.
Yeah.
But so sometimes if you struggle with speaking up at meetings, being the most popular person in the office, just find people that you look up to, people that you like, and just hold on to those people and water those relationships. And when the time comes, those are the people that will actually fight for you. Even though maybe like when you initially started the relationship, that was not your intention, but they actually do hold you down.
Yeah, no, that's true. Whatever you do, make sure that you find your people and let them be in your corner. In closing, what is the season of your life?
I'm in my Shonda Rhimes era.
Okay.
I am. I mean, I want, me, man. I haven't been doing a lot. I think after motherhood, I sort of like a lot happened. School, what. I think now I want to do things, even if I don't know whether they're gonna work out or not. I want to let go of control. So I think this season is surrendering. This season is, let's just give it a shot, see what happens. So that's where I'm at. I'm taking it easy, but I am gonna try a lot of different things. Hopefully.
All right, love that.
For you,
I was
what can we expect to the season on Employment Wednesday?
Okay, guys. So before I go into that, this season of my life is release. So every idea I've hoarded, it's gonna come out. So I'm laying my cross before you guys. You guys can judge me. You can do whatever you want, but I'm putting all my ideas out there. I'm starting all the things that I've delayed to start. In terms of Employment Wednesdays, you are going to see more men. I've heard the cry.
Oh, God.
You are going to see more men. The men are agreeing. The men said they will come. You will see more men. We'll hear what they have to say.
Is this... Okay, let me not interrupt you. I blame your dad. I blame your dad. But yeah.
Yeah, so you are going to see more men, and it's going to be a beautiful season. You guys are welcome to DM me or email me if you have any guest suggestions. I'm happy to hear that. If you have any also topic theme suggestions that you think we can cover them up, you're welcome to do so. And thank you so much for honoring
thank you.
My
Next time I'm gonna come back as a guest.
Yes, definitely.
Friend, I'm proud of you. I hope you have an amazing and successful third season of Employment Wednesday. You're going to kill it.
Thank you so much. Cheers to that.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.